Achen promotion meant that she now worked directly with Chief Akiki on a daily basis. She was responsible for scheduling his meetings, organizing his travel plans, and handling confidential company documents. The work was demanding, but Akiki loved the challenge. She felt like she was finally proving herself. As the weeks went by, Achen and Chief Akiki began to develop a close working relationship. They spent long hours together, sometimes staying late at the office to finish important tasks. Achen admired Chief Akiki's intelligence and dedication to his business, and she found herself looking forward to their time together. Chief Kiki, for his part, seemed to appreciate Achen's company more and more. He often complimented her on her work and sometimes even on her appearance, saying things like, "You look very smart today, Achen," or, "I don't know what I'd do without you." At first, Achen thought nothing of it. After all, he was just being kind, wasn't he? But as time went on, she began to notice the way Chief Akiki looked at her, longer than usual, with a warmth in his eyes that made her feel uneasy. Sometimes when they were alone in his office, she could feel the tension between them, like there was something unspoken lingering in the air. One evening, after a particularly busy day, Chief Akiki invited Achen to dinner. "You've been working so hard, Achen," he said. "Let me treat you to a nice meal, just to say thank you." Achen hesitated for a moment. She wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but she didn't want to seem ungrateful. "Okay, sir, that would be nice," she finally agreed. They went to a fancy restaurant in Lake Victoria Island, one of the most expensive parts of Kampala. The restaurant was dimly lit, with soft music playing in the background, and the food was delicious, far better than anything Achen had ever tasted. As they ate, Chief Obina talked about his life, his business, and even his family. Achen learned that he had a wife, Adaora, who came from a wealthy family, and 2 young children. "Adaora and I have been married for over 10 years, Chief Akiki said, his voice softening. "But lately, things haven't been the same between us. We've grown apart." Achen didn't know what to say. She wasn't comfortable talking about her boss's personal life, especially his marriage. But Chief Akiki seemed to need someone to listen, and Achen found herself feeling sorry for him. As the evening went on, Achen began to relax. Chief Akiki was easy to talk to, and she found herself laughing at his jokes and enjoying his company. But as they were leaving the restaurant, something unexpected happened. Chief Akiki reached for Achen's hand, and for a brief moment, their fingers touched. Achen felt a jolt of electricity run through her, and she quickly pulled her hand away. "I'm sorry," Chief Akiki said, his voice low. "I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." "It's okay, sir," Achen said quickly, her heart racing. She didn't know what to make of the situation. Was Chief Akiki just being friendly, or was there something more going on? That night, as Achen lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about Chief Akiki, knew she had to be careful. Chief Akiki was her boss, and he was married. But deep down, she couldn't deny that there was something between them, something that made her feel special. But was it just admiration? Or was she allowing herself to feel something more? The next morning, Achen arrived at the office early, as usual, determined to push the previous evening's dinner out of her mind. She had a job to do, and that was what she would focus on. She told herself that whatever she was feeling would fade with time. However, as the days went on, things between her and Chief Akiki became even more complicated. He would often stop by her desk with a cup of coffee in hand, flashing that charming smile of his. "I brought this for you," he would say, and each time, Achen would smile politely and thank him, even though her heart raced. Then there were the small gifts, nothing extravagant, just thoughtful tokens like a book he thought she'd enjoy, or an elegant scarf. "I saw this and thought of you," he'd say, and Achen would feel that uncomfortable flutter in her chest again. One evening, they were both working late, reviewing some important documents for a big deal the company was about to close. The office was quiet, and the only sound was the soft humming of the air conditioner. As they worked side by side, Achen noticed how close they were sitting, their shoulders almost touching. "You've done an excellent job with this," Chief Akiki said, glancing at her with a smile. "You really are one of the best employees I've ever had." "Thank you, sir," Achen replied, trying to stay professional, though her heart was pounding. There was a brief silence, and then Chief Akiki looked at her, his expression serious. Achen, I need to be honest with you, he said, his voice low. I think I've developed feelings for you. Achen's breath caught in her throat. She stared at him, unsure of what to say. Sir, you're married, she finally stammered. I know, he said, running a hand through his hair in frustration. I know it's wrong, but I can't help how I feel. You're different, Achen. You make everything better. Achen's mind was spinning. She had never expected this. She respected Chief Akiki, admired him even, but this? She wasn't sure how to handle it. I don't know what to say, sir, she whispered, looking down at her hands. Chief Akiki reached out and gently lifted her chin, forcing her to look at him. You don't have to say anything right now, he said softly. Just think about it. I don't want to pressure you, but I had to be honest about how I feel.